You know, it's bad news, dumb shit. When I'm full of rep and be full of red rum, bitch.
Now, you now were any of your charges drug related?
No, not what I got convicted for.
Okay, so what were you actually convicted for?
Okay, I was charged now from the dodo for drug trafficking.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But I wind up being convicted for what the feds call 924C, using carrying a firearm in drug trafficking crimes, or using carrying a firearm in crime of violence.
Gotcha.
And armed career criminal, where they use my 3 prior criminal convictions, which they use a juvenile charge, something that I did when I was 16 years old. Right, and they use, it's like in the state they call it triple bill. Okay. But in the feds they call it armed career criminal. Gotcha. And they used that and they gave me a life sentence.
Gotcha. Now, but you came on a life charge, like after being convicted for life, but you home.
Right.
So that's a blessing in itself.
Oh, God.
For sure. Oh, God. So you gave life back.
God
gave life back.
Yes, ma'am.
That's what's up right there. Okay, now how old were you when you started selling drugs?
I was young.
I know it.
Yeah,
I want to know how young.
I was probably about 13.
Okay. That was about the age I was probably thinking. So what do you feel like steered you towards that? Was it just the struggle? Was it environment? Or like, what would you say would be like the beginning of that for you?
It wasn't a struggle because, my mom worked, you know what I'm saying? My grandmother, I had aunts, you know what I'm saying? Uncles, everybody, my family was a close knit, so it wasn't that. I always had everything I wanted, for real, not just what I needed, But it was, I say the environment, I grew up, you know what I'm saying? My grandma on 37th Street, I'm hanging on 38th, the playground right there, and I'm hanging through the whole park, so you got 38 and Kane right there. Yep. So that alone, you got the hustlers, you got the players, the pimps, you got the gangsters, you got all this here in the mix and all the big drug dealers, Right. So, yeah, I say my environment, the streets, them lights, it excited me. And then the guys that's with the respect, that what really got me, because it really wasn't about no money. You know what I'm saying? Because I always, I kept a dollar.
You always
too.
had.
Yeah, they always gave me something to go, do something with. You know what I'm saying? So gotcha. I guess then it's the ones that I knew that had respect. Gotcha. And the way they looked up at them. You know what I'm saying? People looked at them, and I wanted that look. You
Gotcha.
know what I'm saying? So,
Okay. Now, I've also heard that, you took stepping pretty serious, okay? So, is it true that you dressed up as a female to step on somebody?
Let's just say I was wearing wigs before your generation.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, I ain't saying what I was wearing from that, but I was wearing wigs.
Well, y'all, he ain't no transgender, so I said what it was, okay?
No.
Now, that's just how serious he was behind whatever he was doing, okay? Let's be the clearest. All right, that one is true. Okay, that's crazy. But now, how old were you when you got incarcerated the first time?
Oh, I was 12 years old the first time.
So that was in juvenile?
Yeah.
But as an adult, how old were you when you went?
Soon I turned 17, I was in the juvenile. And
so how old were you when they gave you life?
Oh, when they gave me life, I should have been I was already in with time, so I should about 26.
Okay. So you went in at 17, and then by the age of 26, you were in for life. No.
I went in when I was probably I was in and out of juvenile, but I went to the state when I was 18. I got out when I was 21, 22.
Okay.
I went back and I got the fed time. I got life in 40 years. But when I got life in 40 years, I was about 27.
So I paused the interview to read a snippet of his book because it goes along with what we're talking about. Now, the name of his book is Life of a Baton Rouge G, the original 38th Street Baby by Clarence Robertson. Y'all make sure y'all go and get the book. any little snippet that I read in these clips are very, very small. So it's still a whole lot in this book. So y'all make sure y'all still go and support the book, okay? But he did speak on going to juvenile at the age of 12. And in the book, he explains how he caught his first body at 12. So on page 14, it says, school was never a priority for Clarence. He attended Capital Junior High, where he struggled to find his place. It was there that he experienced his first taste of real violence, an encounter that would set the stage for much of his future. The incident began like many others, a bully, bigger and stronger than Clarence, who seemed to delight in making his life miserable. The boy was in special education, but that did little to deter him from picking on Clarence whenever he had the chance. I was tired of this dude that just kept picking and picking. Clarence remembered, I'm going to unalive him, I told my grandmother. His grandmother, a deeply religious woman, was horrified by his words. She prayed over Clarence, hoping to calm the anger that was building inside him. But the prayers were not enough to quell the storm. One morning, Clarence made a decision that would change his life forever. He grabbed an old brown-handled butcher knife from the kitchen and took it with him to school. The confrontation was brief and brutal. When the bully approached him, Clarence acted on instinct, driven by fear, anger, and desire to end the torment. He stabbed the boy once in the chest, a single decisive blow that sent shockwaves through the school. He left here, Clarence said simply. He was finished. The consequences were immediate. Clarence was arrested and sent to a juvenile institution where he was subjected to mental evaluations. The school officials, perhaps recognizing the deeper issues at play, supported the evaluations, hoping to understand what had driven Clarence to such an extreme act. It really didn't bother me, Clarence admitted later, reflecting on the aftermath, but they thought it was going to bother me. The school was behind me, though. They knew he was a bully.
Gotcha. But I was in for, already for about a couple of years, so I went in like about 25 with the feds.
Gotcha.